Lagrange theorem and hold algebra based on this theorem. So at first I recommended you, please see today's video with attention. Okay? Well, before starting this theorem, at first I will discuss some properties and some theorems, some example, because Lagrange theorem based on these properties, this theorem and this example. At first see definition of an equivalent relation. An equivalent relation, which is denoted as on a non-empty set, is a relation on a set S that satisfies the following three properties. One is reflexive property. What is reflexive property? For all A in S, A is related to A. And second is symmetric property. What is symmetric property? For all AB in S, if A is related to B, then B must be related to A. And third is transitive property. What is transitive property? For all A, B, C in S, if A is related to B and B is related to C, then A must be related to C. And if any set satisfies these three properties, reflexive, symmetric and transitive, then the relation will be equivalent relation. Okay? Well, let's see an example. Let G be a group and A be a subgroup of G. And let consider A be any arbitrary element of G. Now, we define A is related to B if A inverse B be the member of S. We have to prove this is equivalent relation at first. When A inverse B be the member of S. First, we have to prove the relation is reflexive. Here, A is related to A. Why? Because A inverse A equal to identity, and since A is be a subgroup, so identity always be the member of S. So the relation is reflexive. Okay? Now we have to prove the relation is symmetric. Here A is related to B means from this condition A inverse be the member of S. Now since S is a subgroup, so every element has inverse, that imply A inverse B whole inverse also be the member of S. And by inverse property, I will get this equal to B inverse A, and which is also be the member of S. And from this condition, we can write B is equivalent to A. That means A is equivalent to B imply B is equivalent to A. That means the relation is symmetric. Now we have to prove the relation is transitive. So consider A is related to B and B is related to C. That imply A inverse B be the member of S and B inverse C be the member of S. Since S is a subgroup, so it satisfies the closure property. So A inverse B times B inverse C also be the member of S by subgroup property. Okay? B times B inverse equal to identity that imply A inverse C be the member of S, and that imply from this line this is A is related to C. So the relation is transitive because A is related to B and B is related to C imply A is related to C. So our proof has done. The relation is equivalent relation. Okay? Well. And equivalent relation gives the equivalent classes. What is equivalent classes? Let S be any arbitrary set. And this is the equivalent relation on S. For A be the member of S, define the equivalent class of A as class of A equal to set of all member in the S such that A is related to B. That means set of all those member who is in S which is related to A is the equivalent classes of A. Okay? Well, let's see example of equivalent classes. Find the equivalent classes determined by equivalent relation rho on Z, which is defined by A rho B if and only if A minus B is divisible by 5 for all AB be the member of Z. Let's see class of 0. What is class of 0? Set of all B in Z such that 0 is related to B. That means set of all B in Z such that 5 divides 0 minus B, which is equal to set of all member 0 plus minus 5 plus minus 10 plus minus 15 so on, and this is equal to set of all members 5n such that n belongs to integer, and this is the class of 0. What is class of 0? 5n such that n belongs to Z, which is equal to 5Z. Now find class of 1. This will be 5Z plus 1. Similarly, class of 2 will be 5Z plus 2. Class of 3 will be 5Z plus 3. And class of 4 will be 5Z plus 4. And what is class of 5? It will be 5Z. And for 6, it will be 5Z plus 1. For 7, it will be 5Z plus 2. That means they keep going back. It is just periodic. That means there are 4 distinct classes. Class of 0, class of 1, class of 2, class of 3 and class of 4. Which is equal to 5Z, 5Z plus 1, 5Z plus 2, 5Z plus 3, 5Z plus 4. This is the distinct classes of this example. Okay? Well, an equivalent relation on a set is partitions S. What is the partition in mathematically? Set of all subset X of a set capital S such that these subsets are disjoint. Second, the union of all these subsets is equal to S. Are you getting what is the partition? Let's consider this is class of A1, this is class of A2, this is another class A3. And this class partition the set capital S. Now consider given two equivalent classes A1 and A2. Then they are either equal or they are both disjoint. What is disjoint mean? Disjoint mean They have nothing in common. Okay? Let's recall this example. G be a group and A is be a subgroup of G. Then A is related to B. If A inverse B be the member of S, let A be any member of G, then class of A equal to B in G such that A is equivalent to B. That means B belongs to G such that A inverse B belongs to S, who is equal to B belongs to G such that A inverse B equal to small s, where A belongs to any member of any particular member of the subgroup S, who is same as B belongs to G, B equal to S. S be the particular member of the subgroup S, and who is equal to S, where S in the subgroup. And this is similar to A times capital S. Okay? That means equivalent classes of A is A times S, which is equal to S, where small s be the member of capital S. Okay? And if S is a subgroup of G, then left coset of S are subset AS, where A be the member of the G. Okay? Are you getting what is the left coset? This is a subgroup S, and this is the element A. Then all the element of the subgroup S, and we are going to left multiply by the element A, then we are going to get whole bunch of left coset AS. Okay? This is the left coset. And the right coset of AS are subset SA, where A be the member of G. And this is the picture of the right coset. Okay? That means if G is a group and A is be a subgroup of G, then coset of S is obtained by multiplying every element of S by some element of the G. Okay? And for the equivalent relation above, the equivalent classes are left coset of S. Are you getting what is the left coset? Well, before discussing the Lagrange's theorem, at first I will discuss about the permutation group. Just recall, the symmetric group Sn is the all permutation with n elements 1, 2, 3 up to n. Here I will discuss only S4 because I have discussed in my previous video about S1, S2 and S3. So I will discuss only here S4. S4 is the group of all permutation with set of all 4 elements. Here the elements are 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? And this is actually set of all bijection mapping from A to itself, where A containing the elements 1, 2, 3, 4. And the group has 4 factorial elements. And the size of the group is called order of the group. Here the size is 24. So order of the group is 24. Okay. Wait. This is the S4 group containing this cycle. This is identity element. This is 2 cycle. This is 3 cycle, and this is the 4 cycle. Let's consider sigma equal to this. Consider sigma equal to this cycle. That means here sigma equal to 1 goes to 2, 2 goes to 1, 3 goes to 4, 4 goes to 3. And we can write it by the product of disjoint cycle. 1 goes to 2 and 3 goes to, here the cycle 1, 2, because 1 goes to 2, 2 goes to 1. Here the another cycle 3, 4, because 3 goes to 4, 4 goes to 3. Therefore, sigma can be written as product of disjoint cycle. Why disjoint? Because here the no indices, here 1, 2, here 3, 4. No indices common in this cycle. Okay. So this is the disjoint cycle. So from this there exists a result. Every permutation group Sn are always can be written as product of disjoint cycle. Are you getting what is the disjoint cycle? This is. Another properties of disjoint cycle is disjoint cycle always will be commute. Let's consider 2 elements. Let's consider this is sigma dash, which is in S4, and this is tau. This is sigma dash and this is tau with a member of element of the S4. And sigma dash equal to the cycle 1, 2 means 1 goes to 2, 2 goes to 1, 3 goes to 3, 4 goes to 4. And the cycle 3, 4 is, we all of us know, 1 goes to 1, 2 goes to 2, 3 goes to 4 and 4 goes to 3. Okay. Here the proposition disjoint cycles commute. That means multiply sigma dash with tau. And remember, how do we multiply? We start from the right side. In tau, 1 goes to 1 and here 1 goes to 2. 2 goes to 2, here 2 goes to 1. That means this is 1, 2. Here 3 goes to 4, here 4 goes to 4. 4 goes to 3 and 3 goes to 3 and this is 3, 4. Okay. And tau sigma dash equal to, here we have to start from sigma dash. Therefore, 1 goes to 2, here 2 goes to 2. So this is 1, 2. 3 goes to 3, 3 goes to 4. 4 goes to 4, here 4 goes to 3. That means this, there is cycle 3, 4, 1, 2. And we can write it 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, both are same. And notice, sigma dash tau equal to tau sigma dash. And this is equal. That means both cycle commute each other. And this result is true because here sigma dash and tau are both different. Okay? Actually, we all of us know Sn is not abelian for all n greater than equal to 3. Only S1 and S2 are both abelian. Let's consider this is tau dash, which is member of S4, and this is tau double dash, which is also member of S4. This is tau dash and this is tau double dash. If we multiply tau dash with tau double dash, then after multiplying I will get this result. Similarly, if we multiply tau double dash with tau dash, then after multiplying I will get this result. Here the disjoint cycle, here the element 2 3 4, here 1 2 4, different element, so the cycle is not same, here disjoint. So tau tau double dash does not commute with tau double dash tau dash. Why? Because here the cycle is not disjoint, because in the cycle both one is common. So S4 actually is not abelian group. Are you getting? Well, any two cycle is called transposition, and every permutation can be written as product of transposition, not necessary disjoint transposition. Let's consider tau triple prime equal to 1 2 3, which is member of S4, and I can write it as product of two transposition 1 2 1 3. Here look, it is not disjoint transposition. Here 1 is common in both cycle, and this is not unique method. We can write any cycle different transposition. This is similar 1 2 2 3. Okay? Well, now look, order of permutation. Order of permutation is the number of times you must compose a permutation with itself until you get the identity permutation. This is the order of permutation. But in shortcut, if sigma 1, sigma 2, sigma n are disjoint cycle, then order of sigma equal to LCM of sigma 1, sigma 2, sigma n, where sigma I equal to length of cycle. Let's consider sigma equal to 1 2 3 4 5, which is member of S5. Then the order of sigma equal to LCM of sigma 1 and sigma 2. Here the length 3, here the length 2. That means order of sigma equal to 6. A permutation is called even permutation if number of transposition is even. Look, tau double prime equal to 1 2 3. Here the odd length, but number of transposition is 2. So this permutation is even permutation. Okay? Well, let's see odd permutation. Similarly, a permutation is called odd permutation if number of transposition is odd. Look, tau triple prime equal to 1 2 3 4. Here the length even, but number of transposition is 3. So this permutation is called odd permutation. Are you getting? Well, there exists a nice theorem how to find how many elements exist in Sn in particular order. The theorem is n factorial 1 to the power alpha 1, 2 to the power alpha 2 up to r to the power alpha 1 times alpha 1 factorial, alpha 2 factorial up to alpha r factorial. What is alpha 1, alpha 2? I will see just an example. Number of elements of order 2 in Sn, S4. At first, partition S4, 2 plus 1 plus 1 equal to 4, and LCM of 2, 1, 1 equal to 2. Similarly, 2 plus 2 equal to 4 and LCM of 2, 2 equal to 2. Therefore, there exist two type partition of order 2 elements. At first, see this partition 2 plus 1 plus 1. here the one cycle exists 2 times. So the formula is 4 factorial 1 square times 1 factorial, and 2 cycle exist 1 times. So 2 to the power 1 times 1 factorial. After calculating, the value is 6. Are you getting how to find the any elements of any order in permutation group by this formula? Let's see. Other partition. Other partition is 2 plus 2 equal to 4. By this formula, since here the 2 cycle, number of 2 cycle is 2. So 4 factorial 2 square times 2 factorial, and the formula is 3. So number of elements of order 2 is here 6, here 3. 6 plus 3 equal to 9. Similarly, number of elements of order 3 is, the partition is 3 plus 1 equal to 4, and the LCM of 3 1 equal to 3. That means here the number of 3 cycle 1 and number of 1 cycle 1. So the formula 4 factorial 3 to the power 1 times 1 factorial 1 to the power 1 times 1 factorial. After calculating, the value is 8. Now my next question, how many elements exist in S4 in order 4? There is only one type cycle 4, because here the order 4. So the formula is 4 factorial 4 to the power 1 times 1 factorial, and the value is 6. Are you getting? Well, this table is very important. You can find any SN group by this formula and make this table. Then it will be very helpful for any competitive exam. Okay? Well, at first, there exists an element of order 4 A, B, C, D. Number of elements of order 4 6. Other element of order 3 is cycle type A, B, C, D. That means the partition 3 plus 1, and this is order 3 because LCM of 3 1 equal to 3, and by this formula the number of elements 8, and order 2 plus 2 equal to 4 partition, that means this type of cycle, and the number of elements is 3. Other 2 plus 1, and this cycle is type here. This type cycle exists, and the number of elements in SN 6 for this partition. Okay? Other identity 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 equal to 4. One cycle 4 times. This order is 1 because LCM of 1 1 1 1 equal to 1, and the number of elements for this order is 1 by this formula. Now notice the S4 group. This is the group of 24 elements. So there exists 24 elements. This is identity element, and these all are 2 cycle. Here 1 2 cycle is similar to 2 1 because in cycle it does not depend where you start. Similarly 1 4 similar to 4 1, 1 3 similar to 3 1, and 2 3 is similar to 3 2. Notice, and these 2 cycle are disjoint cycle, and this is all are 2 cycle. Okay? Well, and these are 3 cycle of order 3. And notice Here 1 goes to 2, 2 goes to 3. So in inverse 3 back to 1. So these two are inverse of each other. Similarly, next these two are inverse of each other. These two are inverse of each other, and these two are inverse of each other. And this is the cycle of order 3. And next cycle is order 4 cycle. Here 1 goes to 2, 2 goes to 3, 3 goes to 4. And the inverse of this cycle is 4 back to 1. That means these two cycles are inverse. These two cycles 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 4, 3, 2 are inverse of each other. Similarly, for this cycle, here 3 back inverse is 3 back to 1. That means this is the inverse. And for this cycle, inverse is this. And this is all 4 cycle of order 4 in S4. Okay? Well, now let's see another permutation, AN, which is called alternative group. And this is actually set of all even permutation. Okay, so in S4, which are even permutation? Identity. And we always know if the number of transposition is even, then this cycle is even. So this disjoint 3-2 cycle are even permutation. And we also know the cycle of even length is odd and cycle of odd length is even. So these 3 cycles are always even permutation. Okay? At first, I suggest you notice the table of A4 with attention. Number of elements of order 1 is 1 and number of elements of order 2 by this theorem will be 3 and the number of elements of order 3 will be 8 by this theorem. And we all of us know how to find subgroup of any group. And I recommended you make this subgroup of A4 own self. Just see number of subgroup. Number of subgroup in A4 in order 1 is 1. Number of subgroup of order 2 in A4 is 3. And number of subgroup in A4 of order 3 is 4. Please find it own self. Okay. By using object called coset, we can create a simple rules that narrows down the possible list of subgroup. Actually, every group has 2 subgroups, one group itself and 2 trivial group. And this is similar to how every positive integer has 2 divisors, group itself and identity. Now I want to say another subgroup other than these 2 subgroups. And the mathematician Joseph Louis Lagrange found a useful test which is called Lagrange theorem. Statement of Lagrange theorem is if G is any finite group and A is B any subgroup of G, then order of each subgroup must divide the order of the group. Okay, this is the Lagrange theorem. Well, now I will prove this by the set of coset of A's, and we going to show that the set of coset partition the group, and if each coset has exactly same number of elements which is in the subgroup A's, then order of A's must be divide the order of the group. Okay? Now let's see the proof. If AH and BH be the two coset, we all of us know AH intersect BH either empty or they are non-empty. Suppose they are non-empty, then some element x belongs to their intersection. Then x equal to AH1, where H1 be the member of the subgroup capital S, which is also equal to x equal to BH2, where H2 be the other element of capital S. And from this line, it is true A equal to BH2 H1 inverse. If we multiply both sides by capital S, then it will be A capital A is equal to BH2 H1 inverse times S. And A is capital A is equal to always capital S. That means from this line we can write this is equal to B capital S. From this line it implies A is equal to BS, or A is intersect BS equal to empty. There exists no other element. That means coset of A is partition whole G, because union of all partition, all coset equal to G, and there the pair is disjoint. Now I would like to show order of any coset is similar to order of the subgroup, and in order to prove two set has same number of element, I will prove it by there exists a 1-1 corresponds between two set. That means there exists a mapping phi from H to AH by phi of H equal to A times H. Clearly it is 1-1 because phi H1 equal to phi H2 imply AH1 equal to AH2, which imply H1 equal to H2. And clearly phi is onto by the definition of the function. So order of H must be equal to order of A times H. That means order of any coset is equal to order of the subgroup. Okay? And since G is a finite group, so there exists a finite number of coset. Let there exist k number of coset. Then the set will be A's, A1 times A's, A2 A's up to AK minus 1 A's, and G equal to union of all these coset. Then clearly order of G equal to k times order of A's. That means index of A's in G equal to k. That means there exists k left coset. Okay? Our proof has done. Okay? Well, now let's see one example. Order of G equal to 323, which is equal to 17 times 19. Does Lagrange theorem say there exists a subgroup of order 17 and 19? No. Because the converse of the Lagrange theorem may not be true. Lagrange theorem only if condition. If H be the subgroup of a group, then order of H must divide order of G. Let's look the alternative group of 4 elements. The order of A4 equal to 12 and divisor of the group are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12. But notice the alternative group, A4, there exists only subgroup of 1 order, 3 order, 4 order and group itself of 12 order. There exists no subgroup of 6 order. So, the converse of the Lagrange theorem may not be true. Okay?